What's going on, YouTube? I had planned a video for you today, but Mother Nature had other ideas. So, as you can tell, it is pouring, and we are sitting in the parking lot. I'm wet, I'm cold, it's 45 degrees. Water temp is 47, if anybody was wondering, which tells me March baits will still be hitting pretty good. Hopefully next time you guys see me, I will be at home and dry. Hopefully. And I'll tell you about the baits for April. Stay tuned. Alright, YouTube, we are home. We made it safely. We didn't get stuck in any of the mud, and we did not hit any flood water, which is a plus for this time of year. Especially right now, we like 4 days of rain. We got like 2 more days coming. I guess day and a half. The rest of today and tomorrow. But let's talk about April. Normally, we would be talking about finding them up shallow and getting ready to spawn and all this stuff, but the rain has really cooled the water down. Like I said earlier, the water temp was like 47.5, 48 degrees in the back of that pocket. Cold. I still think with the warming trend coming, once this rain's done and the water kind of gets back to normal, it'll start warming up like it's supposed to, like we come to know and love from April. Now, the best part about April is that everything you're fishing, okay, maybe not everything, 90% of what you're fishing is what you can see, right? Laydowns on the banks, the back of docks, dock pylons, riprap banks, tree stumps, anything realistically that you can see physically with your eye, there will probably be fish there, especially once the water gets up to that 55, 60 degree range, which I don't think is going to take very long. But with that being said, let's talk about the baits. This is a great time of year to throw a popper. I do not exactly know which one this is. I believe this is just this is the Pop-R. There you go. This is a Pop-R, bass color. For colors, your black and blue, green pumpkin, bass, bluegill, anything like that. I like a popper for like open water, but if I'm getting into some real thick, laydowns and grass and just some little messier stuff, I'll throw a popping frog. Essentially, it's the same thing. But that's going to help you, especially in the mornings, find them bass that are not necessarily up on a bed. They could be, but they might not be per se, kind of cruising the banks, females looking for beds, etc., etc. You can throw it around docks, you can throw it around rock, you can throw it near the laydown. I just think a popping frog is a little bit easier to get in those kind of situations. Now, for the Pop-R, I'm throwing it on a 7.3 medium heavy with like 30-pound braid. I don't throw any super crazy braid just because, like I said, normally it's open water. I'm not worried about them wrapping me up in some grass or anything like that. For the frogs, I'm throwing 50-pound braid on a 7.6 heavy, just because typically if I'm throwing a frog, I'm throwing it in some nasty stuff. I'm throwing it way back in the laydown where they might eat it and wrap me up, and I really don't want to worry about breaking off. And 50 pounds strong enough to not break off, but it also casts really well. It's pretty smooth for braid. So that's where I'm at with that. Now, sticking with search baits, I mentioned it last video, but it's still going to play this video. Glide bait. This is a smaller glide bait. This is a 6-inch. This is the Clutch Eco from Clutch Swim Baits. This thing is fantastic. You can slow it down real wide when you're out on them secondary points. When you're fishing around docks, you can get it to go out real wide and then come back to the dock and kind of let it sit there a little bit and then come back out and then come back in. You're really going to generate a lot of bites from the fish that aren't quite moving up yet, or maybe even moving back out. Docks, secondary points, even around laydowns, it's just a really, really great bait. And then if you do find one on a bed, it gets very choppy too. I don't know if you guys can see this on camera or not, but it gets very choppy. If you really want to, work this thing super slow on a bed, you can do that too. Just such a great, versatile bait. I throw it on a 7.6 heavy, like 20-pound fluoro, and that seems to do pretty well for me. Something like a 7-speed reel. Popper, I'm throwing on an 8-speed, same with the frog, 8-speed reel. Now, while we are talking about docks, who doesn't love skipping docks? And honestly, this is the greatest time of year to do it because you can find them on the back corner of docks. If you can skip up underneath the front of that dock into that back corner, you're probably going to get bit. And what better bait to skip than a swim bait? Or swim jig, I'm sorry. A swim jig. This is green pumpkin. I throw a little paddle tail on the back typically. I might change it up, try a freeloader. I'm not really sure how it's going to work. I know, tried and true for myself, that the paddle tail on the back generates a lot of bites. I will say it's the, what is it? The Zoom something or other. Not very durable when you're skipping. You'll go through a couple baits. Same with the Biospawn Exo Swims. They kind of tear pretty easy. But it's worth it. You know, if you go through a bait every 2 fish, I mean, especially for a tournament guy like myself, you get 2 fish in the boat early in the morning or even midday when you need a kicker and you catch that big female in the back of that dock. You know, I'll donate a bait to the lake for that. I'm throwing this on like a 6/8 medium heavy 6 gills chopper rod, which is their spinnerbait chatterbait rod, but it really loads up really well with this. It has enough backbone to set the hook, but it's also got a lot of action for, you know, flicking it up on our docks and stuff like that. I go a little shorter so I can be a little more accurate because I'm primarily skipping this thing. I will throw it down the bank, you know, around the laydowns. You can do that. It comes through wood pretty decent, comes through grass really well. But yeah, 6/8, medium heavy. Typically 12-pound fluoro, maybe 15 if it's, you know, real thick grass or something like that. But normally this is on 12-pound fluoro. Now that's it for search baits. 2 more baits really, but it's one is very broad, right? And you guys know where I'm going with this. It's first and foremost the tried and true stick bait, right? Senko, janitor, whatever you want to call it, pig stick, whatever. 9 times out of 10, I'm rigging this wacky style. I'm sorry guys, I don't have a lot of rods in here to show you this stuff. If you want a more in-depth video on any of these baits, comment down below, and I'll do that for you. But it's pouring down rain. All of my stuff is in the boat. Had to come inside to shoot this video for you. I wanted to get it out before the middle of the month. Like I said, stick bait. You can weightless Texas rig, which I think a lot of guys forget about. You can throw it wacky rig, Nico style, you know, put a little 16th ounce nail weight in here, let it sit kind of up and down like it's pecking on the eggs. But I primarily throw it wacky. Pretty much every time I'm throwing this weightless, I'm throwing it on a 7.2 medium light spinning rod, size 2000 reel. You can throw it everywhere. You throw it in the laydown, throw it around the grass, throw it under the dock. It skips really, really well. Probably one of my favorite lures to skip, actually. So, can't go wrong with the weightless stickworm. Like 10-pound braid on most of my spinning setups. Medium light is okay. You can go to a medium if you really feel like you need it, but I feel like I get a lot more feedback and action out of a medium light. Now, the last one, like I said, it's very versatile, vague, whatever word you feel like using. Texas rig, guys. April is the time of year for soft plastics. You know, so anything like this is a Bass Reaper Coffin Crawl. The Bass Reaper Contagion is really, really well. It skips really, really well if you're going on the bank and you want to skip back up underneath the cutouts of the bank. Can't go wrong with the Contagion from Bass Reaper. Something that's a little more forgotten about, Texas rigging a lizard. Guys, I don't know if you know this or not, but the bass hate lizards. Okay? Absolutely hate it. This is going to be the time of year that I put my jigs away for the most part. I'm not flipping a jig 90% of the time. I might still leave like a small swim bait tied on, you know, like the Mayor, Crush City Mayor, a little paddle tail, a little minnow, shaking a minnow. I might leave it on, but probably not. If I'm searching for stuff, I'm going to throw the glide bait or throw the swim jig. Texas rig, I mean, I'm going to throw the Texas rig on anything. If it's super thick cover, it's going to be on like a 7.6 extra heavy flipping stick, you know, 3/8 ounce weight. Really getting it back in them in the laydowns. I'm talking like through the twigs into the base. I'm getting in the nasty stuff. If it's a dock, I'm getting as far back in there as I can. I want to throw like 50-pound braid because I really want to be able to get them fish out, especially if they start wrapping me up and stuff and cover. Same thing with grass. I'll throw it right in the middle of the grass. We're really getting in there. If it's a little more open water, I'm kind of pecking the edges of these laydowns and stuff. I'm going to throw it on a 7.3 medium heavy with like 20-pound fluoro. It's strong enough that it's going to be okay in the branches on the edges, but I'm not super confident if it's real back in the thick stuff. Now another bait you could throw, Crush City Bronco Bug. I plan on throwing that a lot this year. I know Zoom makes like the Rage Crawl, I think it is. I'll throw every now and then. Dude, April is just the greatest month, man. You find them anywhere. As DC said, Dustin Connell, if you guys don't watch MLF, DC, this is the flip. This is the month where they flip, right? 80% of the bass are up shallow, 20% of the bass are out deep. You can still catch them out there on the points, on the channel swings, stuff like that. But primarily, this is going to be the month. You know, last month, I started on the secondary points and worked my way back. This month, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to go to the back of the pockets and look for laydowns and rocks and stumps. And I'm going to work out, right? I'm going to go shallow first, secondary points, laydowns, docks, anything like that. And then if I can't find them there, I'll go and check the points and see if I can find any pulling out. If they're not there, I'm going to go look for like ridges and humps. They'll spawn on ridges, guys. If you have a channel swing that swings in here and then there's a point back here, and this back here is rock, okay, behind the point, they'll spawn on that rock out of the channel, right? It's a little current break. It's pretty consistent water temperature. It's pretty consistent flow. Easy access to deep water. They will spawn on the points. They will spawn on humps. They will spawn on ridges. Don't forget those when you're going to fish in April. Everybody wants to run to the back of the pockets and catch all these shallow fish on beds, which is great, but they're not all there. They're not all in 4 feet of water. If you're fishing a tournament and everybody's going shallow, go catch those ones on the secondary points, on the ridges, on the channel swings, on the humps, and you're going to have a bag at the end of the tournament. As always, if you guys want to see any of these baits more in depth, because like I said, I can't really show you very much right now on the rod or the reel or anything like that. My Texas rig is an 8-speed reel. I forgot to mention that. That's just so when they bite it, they run straight at me, I can catch up to it to set the hook. But if you want any more of these videos in depth, leave me a comment down below. Let me know. Hey, I want to see how you fish the Texas rig and how you decide braid versus fluoro and the situations or anything like that. Just leave me a comment. If you like this video, if it helped you, leave me a comment. If you want to see on C-Maps, I use Lowrance. Shout out Lowrance. I'm not sponsored, but if they want to, you know, I'm not gonna turn it down. But I use C-Maps. If you guys want to see a video of how I go through my C-Maps and find where I'm going to fish or at least where I'm going to start, leave me a comment. I'll be more than happy to do a video like that for you guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Smash that like button. Turn on the notification bell so you get notified when I post a video. Appreciate y'all.